In the tense years of the Cold War, the threat of nuclear devastation loomed large. Then, in 1957, that threat took a terrifying turn when a routine training mission turned into a disaster. A B-36 bomber dropped a nuclear weapon over the unsuspecting deserts of New Mexico. The Convair B-36 Peacemaker was an iconic aircraft of the early Cold War era. It was originally conceived during World War II, with development beginning in 1941, driven by the U.S. Army Air Corps' need for a strategic bomber capable of intercontinental flight. This need arose from concerns about the stability of overseas bases and the potential fall of Britain to Axis forces. The specifications for this bomber were ambitious, calling for a range of 12,000 miles, a cruising speed of 275 miles per hour, and a service ceiling of 45,000 feet. Consolidated Vultee, later known as Convair, won the contract in November 1941 with their Model 36 design, which was later designated XB-36. The project faced significant delays due to the U.S. entry into World War II, which prioritized the production of other aircraft like the B-24 Liberator. Despite these setbacks, the first XB-36 prototype flew on August 8, 1946. By this time, it was the largest and heaviest aircraft ever built, with a wingspan of 230 feet and a length of 163 feet. The B-36 featured 6 Pratt & Whitney R4360 Wasp major radial engines mounted in a unique pusher configuration, along with 4 General Electric J47 turbojet engines added in later models. This combination provided a maximum range of 10,000 miles and a payload capacity of 87,200 pounds. Despite its size and power, the B-36 encountered numerous issues, including engine overheating and maintenance challenges. Nevertheless, it was a significant advancement in bomber technology and played a crucial role in the U.S. Strategic Air Command, or SAC, from its introduction in 1948 until it was replaced by the B-52 Stratofortress in 1955. This aircraft was designed specifically to carry nuclear weapons without requiring modifications. It became a critical component of America's nuclear deterrent strategy during the early Cold War. Its ability to operate at high altitudes and carry large payloads made it a formidable bomber. On May 22, 1957, the crew of a B-36 Peacemaker was given the mission of transporting a Mark 17 hydrogen bomb from Texas to a base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The Mark 17 and Mark 24 were the first mass-produced hydrogen bombs deployed by the United States. They entered service in 1954 and were phased out by 1957. The Mark 17 was the largest thermonuclear weapon ever put into service by the United States, with an estimated explosive yield more than 600 times the size of the bomb that leveled Hiroshima. It weighed around 42,000 pounds, measured 24.5 feet in length and 5 feet in diameter, and had a potential yield of 10 to 15 megatons of TNT, where the original atomic bombs incinerated everything within a mile radius. The Mark 17's reach was closer to 10 miles, earning it the nickname City Killer. Like most nuclear devices of the time, the Mark 17 was doubly secured in the bomb bay, first with a primary pneumatic system, and then by a manually inserted backup locking pin. There was just one problem. In case of an emergency, crews needed to be able to jettison their volatile cargo. To accommodate this possibility, standard procedure involved the removal of the locking pin for takeoff and landing. At the start and end of each flight, a member of the crew had to climb up to where the bomb hung from its restraints and slide out the pin. In the 1957 incident, the unlucky crew member was the plane's navigator, First Lieutenant Bob Karp. As the B-36 descended to 1,700 feet, he clambered into the bomb bay and dangled himself over the massive Mark 17, removing the locking pin. It's unclear how the primary release system became disconnected. According to the initial reports, as the plane hit turbulence, Karp lost his balance and reached out for something to steady himself. This something allegedly turned out to be the lever from the bomber's release system. However, he insisted that the lever caught on his equipment and shifted as he worked his way along the length of the bomb. Whatever the cause, without the locking pin to hold it in place, the 21-ton payload promptly fell out of the plane, taking the bomb bay doors with it. The bomb fell approximately 4.5 miles south of the Kirtland Control Tower and 0.3 miles outside the Sandia Atomic Base Reservation. Upon impact, the bomb's conventional high-explosive trigger detonated, creating a massive explosion, but without a nuclear reaction. The explosion carved a crater 12 feet deep and 25 feet in diameter, scattering bomb fragments and causing minor radioactive contamination over a mile-wide area. Fortunately, the nuclear warhead did not explode. For nuclear operation, bombs like the Mark 17 required a certain amount of radioactive material, such as plutonium, to be compressed into a specific volume. The bomb had two parts, a nuclear core made of plutonium and an outer layer of conventional explosives. To trigger a nuclear reaction, the explosives had to compress the plutonium core. However, in this incident, only the outer layer of explosives detonated when the bomb hit the ground, causing a large explosion. Fortunately, the nuclear core and outer layer were stored separately during flights to prevent a nuclear disaster. As a result, the explosion was not a nuclear one, and the only casualty reported was a cow grazing in the nearby area. Field Command from the Armed Forces Special Weapons Project quickly responded and conducted recovery and cleanup operations. They removed contaminated soil and bomb fragments scattered over a mile radius. The U.S. government compensated the University of New Mexico for the damage to its property. The investigation concluded swiftly, as many of the necessary experts were stationed at Kirtland Air Force Base. The cause of the incident was determined to be a malfunction in the safety release mechanism of the bomb's support sling. Specifically, the manual release wire had been exposed and unprotected, leading to the accidental release of the bomb along with the bomb bay doors. No disciplinary action was taken against those involved, as the incident was deemed accidental. The details of the event remained classified until 1986, when they were released following a Freedom of Information Act request. Until then, the public and local residents were unaware of the near disaster. The explosion dispersed uranium and other radioactive materials, prompting immediate and secret cleanup efforts by the Air Force. Despite thorough cleanup, some uranium remnants remain at the site, which is monitored regularly by the Air Force for radioactive contamination. To date, no significant radiation levels have been detected in the area. There were no reported injuries or fatalities from the incident. The detonation of the conventional explosives caused a substantial explosion and a large dust cloud, but it occurred in an uninhabited area, minimizing the risk to human life. The secrecy surrounding the incident meant that the public was unaware of the potential danger at the time. The incident highlights the risks associated with handling and transporting nuclear weapons. It contributed to increased scrutiny and the development of more stringent safety protocols to prevent similar accidents in the future. The Mark 17 incident is not the only instance of a nearly averted nuclear disaster. According to declassified documents, the U.S. military had several near-miss incidents with nuclear bombs. This incident serves as a reminder that a single misstep could have pushed the world into nuclear chaos. Despite critical planning and rigorous protocols, the potential for catastrophic accidents was ever present. Do you think current safety measures are sufficient to prevent similar incidents in the future? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating historical content.